Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the Tried and Tested podcast. I am your host, Tracey, and if you are not familiar with my show, this is a dating and relationship podcast where we talk about all things that we've all encountered throughout our many years on this earth with relationships, with marriage, with everything. Everything you can think of that has to deal with love, we're going to discuss it here. And so today I have a very special guest, a repeat guest as well. I have my boo Peanut. Say hey, girl.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. And so today we have a really interesting topic that I really need to be schooled on because I don't really know much about it. So without further ado, our topic today is interracial dating. Okay. So, and for people, interracial dating, I think, like, don't they say, like, down with the swirl? I think Wendy Williams says that. Where,
yes.
like, you just, you like somebody of a different, yeah. So, anyway, can you actually define to us what is interracial dating for people who may not know?
It's when you're dating someone that is outside of your race. And I guess that would be, you're white, you're black. You're black, they're Asian. And then also cultural-wise, that's a big thing. So besides race, they probably have different customs and cultural differences from you.
Okay. So, all right. So with interracial dating, have you ever been in a situation like that? Because I have not. So have you ever dated somebody who's outside of your race/culture before or not?
So yes, I have dated, I've been in a relationship with a white guy, and then
And you're black. Just so they know.
Yes, just so they know.
Okay.
And let's see, I've also, talked to a guy seriously, which I didn't think was interracial just because he was Guyanese, but he was, Indian Guyanese. So,
gotcha.
I mean, dark skin, but Indian. But he was Guyanese. So, he had that Caribbean, even though it's from South America, he has a Caribbean culture. So, I never consider it as interracial, but I guess it would be considered interracial. And then currently, which I also didn't think to consider interracial, my husband is half Asian, half black.
Okay. So, yeah, you down with the swirl, girl. Yes. Okay.
I don't discriminate.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just so interesting because, well, actually, let me just rewind first. So with the white guy that you dated, I'm going to use him because I feel like that's probably the biggest, basically,
yes.
when you see the couple together, you'll know that, okay, she's black and the complete opposite would be white, essentially, right? So with that
yes.
situation, how did that attraction even begin? How does that work?
Okay, so if I could give a short backstory, we grew up together. I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, but I'm still black and I still experience things differently. Of course, even though I was in a predominantly white neighborhood, a lot of the Hispanic and black kids were their parents were on a different pay grade than the white kids.
Gotcha.
We grew up in the same town, but we grew up so differently. But I mean, I guess ever since we were in elementary school, we just was friends with each other, and then it just, I don't know, blossomed into something else.
Okay. So when it blossomed into something else, did you, I'm going to assume, and I don't know for sure, was he more comfortable, I guess, than you possibly were, when you were out in public? Because from what it seems, sometimes, I feel like Caucasian people don't necessarily know the struggles that black people may have. And so whoever they fall for, they just feel like, oh, it's cool. Nobody cares, not knowing that people may be racist because they never experienced that kind of thing. So did people ever, kind of look at you sideways or make comments or anything like that or not?
Okay, from his perspective, I feel like him, honestly, I can't even answer that 100% because I feel like he looked at it as, it was not a struggle, but I guess it was hard to make that of, okay, I'm so used to dating white girls and now I'm here dating this black girl. And even though like, and I was a lot younger, so like things, I couldn't explain it properly, or I haven't experienced it fully when it came to like racial issues that I could explain to him for him to understand. And I still feel like besides the race thing, the economic like difference was an issue as well. So like it was just hard relating to him in regards to serious issues like race, like racism or like politics. I mean, we're still not like cool, but like I can tell you that he voted for Trump, and we literally had a full on conversation in 2016 about voting for Trump and why I should vote for Trump as a black woman.
Okay.
Yes. So,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you could get along with somebody and like everything else is like you guys are on the same playing field, but then that race and economic difference really is like in your face, and it's kind of hard to, I don't know, like to get on the same page.
No, definitely. And that was one of my things. So I was going to say, like, obviously, like, when I see people of other races, if you're attractive, you're attractive. Sometimes you hear people say, like, oh, you're cute for a white guy, or he's cute for an Indian guy, or, you know, just whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you see that. But for me, I never, like, I used to have a huge crush on somebody white. Remember we were in North Carolina?
Yes.
I used to love this boy. But it was in a way where... And actually, you know, well, I'm not even going to go there. Anyway, but I could never see us, like, together. No. It was just more or less like he is just a very attractive man. His personality was attractive and all of that. So I was like, oh, my God, like, I love, you know, but it's just like in life, though, and, like, for me, I went to boarding school. So, like, I was, you know, depending on what house I was in, I was raised by a white couple, you know, apart from my family being back in New Jersey. I had like, you know, white friends and things like that, but it's just never in my mind did it. And I saw interracial couples as well, but never in my mind did I think like, oh yes, like I could see myself with them, or like they would like someone like me, or I would like someone like them. It just didn't really click, you know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, because it was just like, it's weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
Was it like relatability, or was it like physical? Like, well, clearly it wasn't physical if you found this, you know, that guy very attractive. So it was just like relatability of just having that of, I guess, when you date somebody that's within your race, it's like you guys automatically have something in common, automatically.
I would have
But you now don't have that because that person is a different race from you.
Yeah, I would definitely assume. I mean, like I said, I really don't know what it is. I've never really sat back and thought of it. And then also I feel like after college, when I came back home, I wasn't in contact with as many people of like different races. I mean, I was, but not like you can see them in passing, but I wasn't in like, you know, direct contact where we have to sit in class together or we have to speak or you know, like nothing like that. So yeah. All right. So I do have some more questions about, and I'm kind of like directing it at the white guy only because I feel like that's probably the biggest difference. But I do know that other people have like cultural differences and things like that. So you mentioned that you guys had like political differences, you had economic differences, and obviously you were different skin colors. So what about the actual, I guess, culture, like the culture that he had and that you had? And this is a two-part question. Not only the culture, but what about the family? Like, did you get a vibe where they were like tolerating you? They were fake? Like, how did they embrace you?
So I don't remember meeting his dad, but his mom always, like, I had known her throughout all of like elementary school, middle school, and like high school. So like his mom was like a sweetheart. I met his grandma, sweetheart, and I met he had two older brothers. And the crazy thing is like we were both the youngest of three kids, so like I guess that's how we kind of related. But his brothers were cool, and everyone seemed fine. But I also feel like people put on a facade just to kind of make people feel comfortable. But I mean, I feel like they were like really nice, and you know, they were decent people.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I'm not in any way trying to say that all white people are racist. No, they're not. I have white friends, but it's just like, I always wonder like how that process goes. And funny enough, like, the reason why I feel like there may be some sort of issue, even though people don't necessarily talk about it, is because I actually tapped two of my friends who are like, I grew up with them. They're both Black. And because I grew up with them, like, from young, I know that we are similar, right? And so they're both dating, you know, he's dating a white woman and she's dating a white man. But it's like, and I would say they're pretty serious, but both of them didn't want to come on here and talk about it. And I'm like, so I wonder if there, like, you know, are issues that we don't speak of, or, I mean, obviously it's not a circus act. I get that. But I was just kind of like curious to kind of like see, like, because I do know that sometimes families would not be accepting of it, or families would make you uncomfortable, or if you're out in public, or even if you're out in public, and that's what I was kind of like trying to, you know, now that we're older, I was kind of trying to get that information, because it's kind of like, it's interesting, you know, how they'll actually deal with you.
Absolutely. And I feel like initially when they see, that family sees that you're dating somebody outside your race, they're like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, okay, she's nice, he's nice. But as soon as it gets serious in regards to like marriage, children, then people's true colors will start to come out. That may be the reason why your friends were hesitant about doing it, just because they're at that level of, okay, we're at a serious level, and now I'm going to be seeing things that aren't as, you know, sweet as they were before, you know, because then people will be like, okay, well, wait, you're going to marry this person?
Right.
Oh, well, that's different from, well, that's just your boyfriend.
Because it's no, like, seriously, because sometimes even if the family is not racist, you have racist friends and you guys tolerate that kind of lifestyle. So you already know what they, you know, what they say about Black people. And of course, interracial dating is across all races, but this is just like what we're talking about for like here and now. But you have people who are, like I said, they tolerate it, or they hear them call, you know, Black people names. And so now you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to have to, you know, fend them off, or I'm going to have to just laugh with them, but I can't invite them over for family functions, or, you know, oh my God, what are their children going to go through? You know, like they're mixed babies. Like, what are they going to have to deal with? Because a lot of people have different mindsets when it comes to that. And like I said, I haven't experienced this, because I haven't dated anybody that's not Black, but even amongst Black people and Africans, you know, there's issues with that. And not even that. Even with Africans in West Africa, there's, you know, Ghana people and Nigeria people. We right next door, but then it's already like, oh. So imagine that's with different cultures in the same area. So I imagine different colors.
It's very, and I always think this. I'm like, you know, we're all the same on the inside. Like, you know, you cut me, we all gonna believe. But, people could be so, like, literally look the same, have similar cultures, but yet they might, do not confuse me with the I'm not that. And I'm like, okay.
No, it's true.
Like, it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So, you know, so it's, like, especially with race. And then I feel like it's such a sensitive topic, especially here in the U.S., because, you know, it's just like systematic racism everywhere. So, like, a white man is never, ever, ever going to be able to see how, or feel how I feel, see what I experience, what you experience on a daily basis of just little things, or it could be big things. Like in regards to, let's say, pay, like, he will never understand why I might fight harder for this, or I have to go above and beyond to do the same thing that he's doing, because he's getting paid more than I am. You get what I'm saying? And like, they're just, no, you're fine. No, it's not the same. It's not equal. So you have like little things like that you have to worry about. And now you bringing that into somebody who's like personal with you. You got to get them to understand it, and that could be difficult.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I feel like it seems that, like, don't get me wrong, like I said, I grew up white people, I have white friends, but I feel like when it comes to dating, I feel like our lives would be so different that it's kind of like, well, what even brought us together to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
So that's something I definitely.
Like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I know, like, things like of, just listening to like the same music, or you know, you like the same movies and like little stuff like that, but it adds up to where you guys have common interests can bring people together. You're physically attracted to them. You think that they're cute, they're handsome, they're beautiful. And then you have all of these little things. You guys might work together, so you have that commonality. You might work out, do the same thing. So like those little things add up to where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see myself being with this person. But then it's like the whole other side of all the other issues that come into play. So it makes,
because you have to teach somebody a culture. Like that's like, I think like that's kind of, and especially like for me, because I know like there's black and there's white, but then there's like there's African and there's white, or any other culture, Chinese, and people don't even know, like, you don't even know about my hair. Like black men don't even know about my hair. So what more you like?
Exactly.
Those are
now
things. But I'm like, those are things that you really think of, and like I honestly never even thought about this until we're having this episode. But I think I might be borderline fearful. Like if I'm not necessarily attracted to people who are not black. But I can find people who are not black attractive, if that makes sense. But I'm not, you know, attracted enough to like, and I'm not attracted enough to want to be like, oh yeah, like I think we should be in a relationship, and vice versa. I don't think any of them, like I've had people approach me, but you know, it is what it is. But I definitely feel like I would be like very self-conscious, because I feel like, you know, some people are really carefree and they just kind of live life anyhow. And then some people like me, like you're very aware of your surroundings. So, you know, people are like, if you're racist to me walking by myself, then what more would you do with me walking? Not that I'm living my life for anybody, but it's just kind of like, it makes you wonder, like, that can't be all easy. Like, there has to be some type of something going on that, you know, would kind of deter you from doing it. Not that you should listen to anybody else, but I feel like it would definitely be uncomfortable. It would definitely be, and it's sad because of the day and age that we live in.
Yeah.
But
I definitely feel like it is a little bit more work. Like, you have to put in a little bit more effort in that type of relationship versus dating somebody that's within your race. Because you do this. You have to teach them stuff, and then you have to be open-minded to learn stuff yourself. You have to be even more patient, and you have to be just willing to do things differently than you're used to. Right. And that could be uncomfortable.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking like,
No, go ahead. I was thinking like, it's so funny that you mentioned the hair thing, because I feel like that's probably like one of the biggest things. But when I dated this guy, he would always ask about my hair. Like that was like one thing that was like super intriguing ever since we were little kids. Like, my hair was like, I guess what got, you know,
him
to be friends. Yeah, him to be interested.
And you know what's really funny though? Like, I feel like black people know more about white culture than white people know about black culture. And, you know, like, that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
So that, So, but anyway.
No, I totally agree with you, but I bet you can have somebody say, oh no, because they always like copying our culture, but no. Like, I feel like the things that have become mainstream that were originally black culture, yes, white people know about that. But like, when you dig deeper, they really don't know that much. We know way more of their culture than we do of ours.
Yeah. That's definitely the case. And I just said we can go on and on. We might have to do an episode about racism and dating or something, because it's definitely like, like, we don't really have any idea about what's really going on. So anyway, honey, thank you. So before we wrap up though, what are any last minute, I guess, nuggets or anything that you could share about your thoughts on interracial dating in this day and age?
I don't see an issue with it at all. I do think it is a little bit more work, but I've known people who've been in interracial marriages, like my uncle and my aunt. I don't know how long they've been married, but like they were the first ones I've seen, and I never looked at my aunt differently. Like, I like my aunt more than I like my uncle, and he's my blood. So I just like, you should do it. Just try it. Why not? It won't hurt. See how you like it. And then you might learn something. You're definitely going to learn something.
Yes. And I feel like I love people from all races. I have friends from all races. So yeah, it's definitely, it's interesting out there. So if any of you guys are in interracial relationships and you want to send me any messages or, correct me if I'm wrong, please feel free to do that. Definitely. So I thank you, Peanut, for being my special guest for today. And
Thank
to my
you.
listeners, yes, honey. To my listeners, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time out to listen in on our conversation about interracial dating. And so, Peanut, before you go, where can they meet you? Where can they meet you? Where can they find you on social media? I hope you know what your Instagram handle is today, because, girl.
Yes, Instagram and Instagram only, and it is peanut butter BUTTA cup, peanut butter cup.
Okay, perfect. So thank you so much. And until next time, adios.
Bye.